Welcome to Restaurant Influencers presented by Entrepreneur. My name is Sean Walchef, founder of Cali Barbecue and Cali Barbecue Media. In life, in the restaurant business, and in the new creator economy, we learn through lessons and stories. We couldn't be more grateful for Toast, our primary title sponsor, for believing in smartphone storytelling, for powering so many restaurants with technology so they can go and pursue crazy ideas like partnering with Entrepreneur and having the greatest influencers and the greatest entrepreneurs and CEOs in the world on this show. Today, we have Andy Lederman, the CEO of Bucket Listers. If you don't know about Bucket Listers, you should be following them on Instagram, on TikTok. Check out their website. But Bucket Listers is a social first media company. Can't be more fired up to have Andy on the show. Andy, welcome.
Thanks so much, Sean. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to start with our favorite random question. Where in the world is your favorite stadium, stage, or venue?
I got to give a shout out to my hometown of Chicago. I love going to concerts at Northerly Island. It's got an epic backdrop of the city, very similar to Lollapalooza. And I think there's nothing like being at a show and really looking at your city and just having that pride for where you're coming from.
So Northerly Island, how many fit in that venue? Any rough estimate?
Not massive. I would say it's like a 10,000 person venue. So it's
okay.
A little more. It's not a massive stadium, and it's just an amazing venue, and you're just looking at the skyline, and it's super epic.
Well, it's very cool that you just added to my bucket list. I've never been there. I've been to Chicago. Was fortunate to speak at the National Restaurant Association show just last year, but I've never been to Northerly Island. So we're going to go there. I'm going to convince Entrepreneur. I'm going to convince Toast. I'm going to work with you. We're going to get some brand partners together, and we're going to put on an epic hospitality conference. I'm talking about people that are playing the game within the game, not just a bunch of bullshit, people that actually educational content that's going to move businesses forward, businesses that are in the hospitality space and in the content space. And I'm going to put you on center stage, 10,000 people fired up, and tell me the bucket list story.
I love it. Wow. I like how you dream big. This is great.
This is how we go down. We're already creating content. We're doing a bucket list conference right off the bat.
Incredible. So really, got started coming up with the idea that I wanted to spend my life inspiring people to live a full life and really make the most of every day. And so it was a very lofty kind of general idea, but I decided Bucket Listers was going to be my life's mission. And when I graduated college, I was living in Chicago, and I was so excited to live in a big city for the first time. And I wanted to do everything the city had to offer: restaurants, events, experiences. And when I looked for something to guide me to those places, it just didn't really exist, or the stuff that was out there just didn't make the cut for me. So I created an Instagram account called Chicago Bucket List. And pretty obvious in his name what we serve to do. We just kind of posted every day about cool stuff happening in the city that people didn't know about. And it turns out I wasn't the only one looking for something like this. And so all of a sudden people started to follow it. And they weren't just liking the post. They were actually saying, hey, I saw your post and I went to this restaurant, or I went to this event or experience, and I had a great time. And I was like, wow, that's sick. Like, we're posting stuff on social media and it's turning
into influence. That's actual influence. Yeah.
So we really spotted this trend of, discovery all happening on social media, attention all being on, the Instagram feed. And we capitalized and we created accounts like Chicago Bucket List in New York and LA and San Francisco and San Diego. And so before you knew it, we had 15 million followers. And, we always kept a very strict curation process. We never, even if a brand or a business wanted to pay us a lot of money, if we didn't think it was worthy of the bucket list or met our standards, we wouldn't post it. And so over the years, we've really built trust with our 15 million followers. And more recently, we've turned this into a marketplace. So now everything we show you on our feeds, you can actually buy tickets to on our website, bucketlisters.com. And so we're selling hundreds of thousands of tickets every year and doing a lot of interesting stuff, especially in New York, LA, and Chicago. It's been a year of record growth for us, and it's been an exciting time.
Do you remember your oh shit moment where this actually went from a hobby to this could actually be my not only full-time job but a career in a company?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you asked. First thing that came to mind is I was sitting in my cubicle. At this point, I was living in New York, working in finance, and they thought I was, I was working hard in my career, but I was obviously, on Instagram all the time building this company.
What year is
Uh,
this? What year is this?
this was probably around 2015,
Okay.
2016, something like that. And all of a sudden, I got an email from Bud Light, and they wanted to pay us to post about their new cans that were going to be featured at Lollapalooza. And it was like a few $1,000s. And I was like, whoa, like not only am I getting so much, pride in the work that I'm doing, but I could actually make money doing this. And eventually the revenue of the business was greater than, my salary at my day job. So that's the point where I kind of took the leap of faith and went full time a few 4 or 5 years ago.
So 4 or 5 years ago, give me what, 20, when was the full leap? What year?
2018.
2018. So
Yep.
all in, where were you at the, as far as you're building, how many different accounts did you have at that time?
We probably were in 4 cities at that point. We
So
had
with the first
millions of
first was
followers.
Chicago. First was Chicago.
Then I started New York. I moved to New York eventually because I wanted to take it more
And this is
seriously.
all you.
This was all me until I brought on my head of content, my partner Aaron, who's incredible. I shot him a DM because his content was so amazing. I said,
How
"Hey, you
did you
want to?"
find him? You found him.
On Instagram, yeah.
Okay.
Shot him a DM. I said, "Hey, I'm building these Instagram accounts. I love your content. You want to come work on this passion project with me?" So we were both full time for a while, and then, like I said, we like looked up one day because we were working so hard. He was at GoPro. I was working in finance, and we were like, "Wow, we have millions of followers, and
Yeah.
we're actually making money." So
Yep.
we both went full time, and now we have a team of 50, which
That's
is
amazing.
crazy. Just looking around, and everyone's got the same, mission and pride in what we're doing, inspiring experiences for people. So that's the best part is just growing the team and being able to work on something so exciting with them is really the most rewarding part.
Bring me back to the nuances of the platform of Instagram, of how it's changed from where you launched back, when you first started, to where we are now with the focus on reels and going after TikTok, from photos to videos. It's all
Yeah, absolutely.
storytelling when you get down to it.
It's all storytelling. I would say that's a huge takeaway. I completely agree. A lot of it's just really, thinking about the user journey, and where content is showing up. I can't even tell you how many growth hacks we've found. Like if you comment on, Kendall Jenner's post and you're the first verified account to post, like yours will appear and people will see your profile. We were early in doing things like giveaways where we would have people follow our accounts to win something. There's been so many different stages of growth, but right now there's a gold mine in creating vertical videos as Instagram reels, reposting them as TikToks, YouTube shorts, even Pinterest ideas. We've built an army of creators that get paid to go to our events and make amazing content about them. And then we post them in many different places. It's more shots on net and more chances to hit home runs. But right now, Instagram reels, obviously all the platforms are fighting over the exact same video format. And so obviously the platform that rewards people and gives people the most views is where creators are going to spend their time. So it's a really exciting time to create kind of the Instagram reel format of content and then post it on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Pinterest.
That's exciting. How do you go from being a creator yourself to building a company?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say I was always more business minded at the beginning. I really thought I took a data driven approach to all of our content. I would really see different content formats, really, getting seen on different platforms and really investing in that. So I would say I love photography. I love creating content. I'm not even allowed in the account anymore. My content
They've kicked you out.
basically. But I admire creators and photographers and videographers so much. That's been one of the coolest parts of my job, is just getting to meet so many of these amazing creators who are so passionate about really the art that they're making on social media. So I leave that to the professionals now.
And now a quick break from restaurant influencers to welcome our newest sponsor to the show, and that is Davo Sales Tax. Davo is an incredible company. I remember when we first opened up our restaurant in 2008, Cali Barbecue, we were struggling to figure out how to automate sales tax, how to have enough money in our account to file our quarterly taxes. I am so grateful that now today we have found Davo, and they are a sponsor of this show, and they are excited to help other business owners no longer have to become tax collectors. Davo does it all for you. They take care of the compliance, they take care of the collecting, they take care of the filing. Get your first month free by going to davosalestax.com/influencers. Let them know that we sent you. Davo is an incredible company. We're grateful to have them on the show. They integrate with all the top POS companies, including Toast. davosalestax.com/influencers. Automate your sales tax today and get back to running your business. Give me some advice for people that are listening, because for us, it's so exciting to be exactly where we are, to have a show with Entrepreneur, to be a barbecue media company, to, have conversations like this with you, with people like Sam, the cooking guy, who have 3 million YouTube subscribers, who has this incredible presence, but now he's building restaurants. I mean, we're at this intersection where there's creators and then there's business owners, and business owners need creators, and business owners need to be creators. Bring me back to, if somebody's listening to this and they are a creator, what kind of advice do you have for them to be able to partner with people like you that have big followings?
That's a great question. I think, there's so many different ways to go about it, but, I think a great intermediate step is joining a publisher like Bucket Listers and going to our events and creating content, or bringing your personality to a Barstool Sports or something, not necessarily that company, but there's a lot of different platforms like that, like the Morning Brew, that are empowering creators.
Yep.
And I think it's a great, because a lot of people probably have a full-time job and are creators on the side. And I think an awesome intermediate step before going out full-time on your own could be to join one of these platforms and help one of them kind of accelerate your career and your personality before you go out on a full-time basis. So those types of platforms like ours, I think, are just such an exciting home for creators to really propel their careers before they go full-time. And I think it's just really important that you find one that you're very passionate about, whose mission aligns, best with what you're looking to do with your career, and then see kind of the opportunities that creates for you.
What kind of advice do you have for people that want to get paid? They're doing it on the side, but then they want to actually start to partner with someone like you. What do you look for when you pay for creators?
Yep. Well, I think just having a unique voice is always super helpful. Having really a niche following, people who really resonate with you. But I think the future really is about showing your personality. There's a lot of cookie cutter content out there of people doing the same things and going to the same places and creating similar content. I think to really stand out, people want to see your personality in your videos or your content. And those are the people that are most successful, where people start to recognize you in multiple videos through the feed. They start to follow you, but then really building a relationship with your followers. There's people I follow who like have kids and do whatever, and you're like, wow, like I feel like I'm almost vested in this person's life. And that like really pulling on people's emotional strings like that, I think has been a common theme in every format of media and content. And people in social media, I think, need to go deeper into that.
Yeah, I think it's, one of the hardest things for me as a business owner to understand and to learn is that people cared not just about our barbecue, but they cared about who I was as a dad, who I was as a husband. And the more that I started sharing content that, each person, it's totally up to you. But the more that you share of yourself, the bigger following and the deeper the connection that you have.
Absolutely. I think you just nailed it, and really showing people that your human side to you is an important way to gain trust and then to have influence over so many people.
What kind of advice do you have for people that are looking for brand deals? How do you know, you talked about Budweiser finding you, Bud
Yeah.
Light reaching out to you. Now
Yep.
you've created a reverse funnel with all the awareness. I mean, I've been following Bucket Listers. San Diego Bucket List is one of my favorite accounts, just to find all this curated content about my own city. I grew up in San Diego. I mean, I moved here when I was 6 months old, but to see the creativity of all these different people showing off different parts of La Jolla Cove, different parts of Torrey Pines Trail, different restaurants that I didn't even know about. Literally, like I'm trying to keep my pulse on all the great places to eat, but it's too many, it's too many. And to find a place like you guys, a trusted source where you're giving us access. You're giving us access, and you're giving someone like me that wants to take my wife out on a date, or maybe I want to take my family somewhere. You're giving us curated places where it's like, hey, I trust Bucket List. This is where I want to go. Or somebody's coming into town, like, hey, let's go show them that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can only speak to my personal experience, but we hired a sales team really early on, and we started reaching out to businesses. And the key for us was to only reach out to businesses where we are excited to make content about them.
Yes.
If you can convince a brand that featuring their product or featuring their business will be extremely organic to your feed and accepted by your audience for because it's such a great fit, it's a win-win for everyone. And I think if you try to sell something that's obviously an advertisement or just doesn't fit with your content strategy, all of a sudden there's this foreign object on your feed and you're making a video about something that doesn't make sense to your organic content, everyone loses. It's just not going to get prioritized in the feed. And so I think doing outbound sales is really important. Hit up the brands that you absolutely love, that you're like, I am so pumped to get their product for free, plus get paid a little, and get started on that premise. But then, have a TikTok or an Instagram reel that gets 1 million views, and then go back to them and say, hey guys, this is clearly found a fit. This is product market fit. My followers love your product. Let's go all in on this. Pay me more. And having that proof of concept to go back to them with is really how we scaled in the beginning. There's a few businesses that just made so much sense. We would get paid $500 to go to a really viral event concept, and it would get millions of views. And the small business owner was like, whoa, what just happened to I woke up to more sales than I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, okay, well now money talks. Let's grow this partnership. And that's really what made us successful in the beginning.
So we always say to be the show and not the commercial.
Yes.
The real key is that people want to support products. People want to support brands. People want to support events, but they also don't want to be advertised to.
Yep.
And I think that's really the exciting thing about what you guys are creating and what we're trying to create is while you are the show, my kids I have a 5-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, and they watch YouTube commercials. They'll skip content, but when the content's integrated into somebody playing with dinosaurs or playing with Hot Wheels, like, they're going to want to tell me about those dinosaurs or those Hot Wheels. And it's totally fine. It's totally acceptable. And when you do the storytelling in a way, like you said, where you're already attracted to the brands, you're doing the outbound research and you're doing proof of concept. I mean, that's where you get very, very powerful content. Can you talk about how you reach out now for events? So I know you guys do events, you sell tickets on your website. How do you find the events in these cities that you guys already are?
Yep. Absolutely. Well, we have a 10-person business development team. So they're just constantly reaching out to businesses. But our strategy shifted a lot because of COVID. Before COVID, we had hundreds of advertisers who would pay us a fixed amount of money to get an Instagram post and an email newsletter and kind of a set package of media. But when COVID happened, we basically lost all of our advertisers, and our accounts receivable, people who hadn't paid their bills yet, they were all on the brink of going out of business. So we were in a really tough spot to figure out how to make money. And so for us, we just had to get creative and test new revenue models. And so there was a drive-in movie theater that popped up in Chicago. And it was pretty much one of the only things you can do in Chicago. You know, socially distant, you could take your car up. And we basically, I was trying to get the owner to pay us $5,000 or $10,000 to promote their business. And he basically said, well, how do I know that we'll sell that much in tickets? And so it was such a tough negotiation that I finally said I would do the thing that we always said we would never do, and we would consider a revenue share model. So you give us tickets to sell to your drive-in movie theater, and when we sell tickets, we take a 20% revenue share. And to our surprise, we sold over $1 million worth of tickets with that partner. And so we knew
that is incredible.
We knew this was a way easier sales pitch, right? Everyone's down to do something performance-based, right? Because they don't know if they'll get their money's worth from a guaranteed rate. And so our sales strategy has been way easier now, right? Because we can go to partners and say, hey, we're going to promote you to millions of people. We know it'll work, but if it doesn't, you don't owe us anything. Yep. And so now we have an amazing 10-person business development team. And we really only go after the best of the best businesses. We never want to become Groupon. I mean, when I graduated college, Groupon was amazing. It made me explore my city more. I went skydiving on a Groupon, but it's very much you don't know what you're going to get if you buy a Groupon. And so our site is extremely curated. Partners are excited to work with us and align their brands with bucket listers and to make it on the bucket list. And now most of what we do is performance-based, and we've created a one-stop marketplace where explorers in any city can go to our site and they'll find a pre-vetted, amazing curation of events and experiences that they can buy tickets to.
It's incredible. The rev share model is because everyone wants to know what's the ROI. When you're talking about social media, I mean, I talk to so many business owners, restaurant owners. Well, what's the ROI of me getting on TikTok? What's the ROI of me posting content on Instagram? And when what you're doing, your proof of concept, because you've already curated that community. You already have an engaged community in each of those markets. How do you expand markets, but also go deeper into the markets you're already in?
It's a great question. And anyone who's building a local marketplace goes through this in the early part of their journey, where they want to go to as many markets as possible, as quickly as possible. And then they realize that they went too fast. From my experience, my advisor is the founder and CEO of Spot Hero, which is a parking garage app that's the biggest in the US. And his number one piece of advice, which I'll share with all of your listeners, is if you are growing a local marketplace, it's extremely important that you focus on your first 1 or 2 markets. Make sure that everyone in that city is using your website, using your app. Friends are saying, what should we do tonight? And they're saying, oh, let's check bucket listers. Once we reach that point is when we're going to more aggressively expand to other markets. And we think we're almost there in New York and LA, awesome. Especially this year, we've made a lot of progress. But in New York or LA, many people know about us. They've been following us. Now they've bought tickets and attended an event, had a good time. And so we're really getting to the point where we're generating network effects in those markets and kind of becoming that first thing that people open when they ask that question, what should we do?
What if I told you that I could help you generate more revenue and save money while taking back control of your TV? You guys know how much we love storytelling, how much we love content. Our newest sponsor, atmosphere.tv/BBQ. Go visit them, check them out, because we have the answer to your TV issues. Keep guests entertained with Atmosphere TV, because you have the ability to turn your promotions and your advertisements onto your television with this platform. The simple plug and play device lets you take control of the content on your screens. Keep guests entertained, engaged, and informed of real-time specials, career opportunities, and announcements that you can personalize within your own custom content dashboard. Tap into great channels such as America's Funniest Home Videos, Fashion, Throttle, Chive TV, Sports Highlights, Red Bull, Real Madrid, along with unbiased news and entertainment. There is something for everyone. Over 60 curated channels of short form, entertaining content to choose from right at your fingertips. They also have an incredible ad-supported network that allows you to not only market within your four walls, but also locally or nationally if you desire. The platform gives you full control to dial in your marketing efforts. Incredible platform, incredible partner. We couldn't be more excited. Please go and visit atmosphere.tv/BBQ and let them know Restaurant Influencers sent you. So tell me about the mission, the big mission, the biggest mission for the bucket list. I mean, I've seen some posts of yours on your personal Instagram and TikTok about leading by example, not just building a company, but actually doing the work yourself.
Absolutely. I would say our mission is really just to make it easier to live life to the fullest. We really want to inspire a movement and an attitude where people, even if you're in San Diego or Miami, which is where I am today, or New York or Chicago or LA, to really just treat every day like an adventure. People kind of walk through life sometimes and get too stuck in their routine and they forget to have fun, or just remember that life's an adventure, and it doesn't need to be a grand adventure to space or Antarctica or the other side of the world. I mean, it could really just be in your hometown, trying new places, trying a taco shop down the street. And so really just instilling that in people and making it easy to open our app and to do something new, or push yourself outside of your comfort zone on a almost a daily basis is really what we're trying to achieve.
So even when you're thinking within your local community and you're thinking within your village, exploring your village, but you also are pushing the boundaries, not just for your team, but for yourself. And you went to Antarctica.
Yes.
What did you learn?
Well, I went to Antarctica this year. It was nothing short of life-changing. Just, it's something that's been on my bucket list forever, and it was my sixth continent. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really demanding time growing. We've grown from 15 to 50 people in the last year. And
Incredible.
so it's really tough to take time off. This is something I work on every day, basically. And so, it was a difficult decision. I was really thinking like, I should probably not go on this trip where there's barely going to be any Wi-Fi at the bottom of the earth. But at the same time, you're right. I'm here to lead by example and to show people what it means to be a bucket lister and to inspire my team. My team is completely remote, and we love nothing more than when someone goes and lives in a new city for a month. It inspires them more. When we live the mission of the company, it really just puts us in a great kind of positive thinking mindset. And so yeah, I lead by example to do that. I want all my team members to be going on adventures regularly to get inspiration and to come back feeling rejuvenated and ready to work harder on our mission.
Have you had to deal with any haters in your career? People close to you in finance and said, "What are you doing going in on social media? Are you serious, Andy? What's wrong with you?"
Oh my God, you couldn't even imagine. I mean, my parents have always been the most supportive people in the world, but that is a tough pill to swallow. I had a very stable career in finance, and I was basically leaving to start a social media company. So it was very difficult for my parents to understand that. But yeah, absolutely. You have people who doubt you all the time. And I think such an important key to life is just to surround yourself with people who really enable your dreams and to push you to pursue your passions and to pursue your dreams. It's what life's all about. And I have found an incredible orbit and environment now where, the people closest to me, we're all on a similar path, pursuing our dreams. And it's really important to find those people in life.
Have you had any kind of oh shit moments with celebrities or brands where you couldn't believe that they were either following your content or engaging with your content or reaching out to you saying like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this person's following us"?
I don't get too well. I can't think of any really off the top of my head, but we did just open the Golden Girls Kitchen in Beverly Hills. So that was a partnership with Disney. I'm not sure if you remember the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
And yep. I was born in 82.
Nice.
I'm a fringe millennial. I got Golden Girls. Yeah.
Yep. So we've recreated a restaurant basically that makes you feel like you're actually in the kitchen. And we've had a whole host of celebrities going through that location. And
so who's running this kitchen? Since we got a restaurant audience, tell me
absolutely.
why you're crazy enough to get into the restaurant pop-up business.
I was very fortunate to work with a very impressive individual in the past. His name's Derek Barry, and he's almost famous for doing these restaurant pop-ups that are officially licensed. You see people kind of ripping off shows or movies a lot, but these are actually official partnerships with the movie studios. And
that's
so
awesome.
he did a Good Burger pop-up. He did a Breaking Bad experience where you were making cocktails that looked like you were cooking meth, like just immersing yourself in the show. And his biggest one was called Saved by the Max, after the show Saved by the Bell.
Yep.
And I remember when he opened that in Chicago, I couldn't even get tickets to it. And I had to beg his PR person. I said, I run this account, Chicago Bucket List. It's got 10,000 followers. I'll do anything. Like, I'll give you the account. Give me tickets, please. So years later, very full circle, Derek joined Bucket Listers as our head of experiences.
Wow.
And so now it's just been a really natural.
So you recruited him?
Yes.
Yes, heavily.
But it's been amazing. It proved that we have such a strong demand generator, right? We can stir up buzz about all of these events. And we prefer to work with partners who are already creating events and have tickets to sell. But in some cases, we're starting to test, how effective our platform is to actually, we can create our own events and put them through the platform. And, the opening of that restaurant was one of the most exciting things in my career. We were, on Good Morning America and Entertainment Tonight and CNN, Washington Post, Extra, you name it. So we're going to go deeper with that, especially with our partners, Disney. And I'm sure you could think of a few different Disney IPs that would be really exciting as restaurants to really immerse yourself. It's really cool to sit in this restaurant, eat the lasagna that Sophia famously made, and just look around and be like, wow, I'm like in the show. And so it's been a huge success. We're excited to push further on our original experiences.
That's so awesome. So we every single Wednesday and Friday on the social audio app Clubhouse, we host a room at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. But anybody that's listening to this show, we invite you guys to come up on stage, share your story. It's a way for us to find out who's going to be the next restaurant influencer. Hopefully we can feature somebody that's listening right now on entrepreneur.com. That's a bucket list for us, is the show coming full circle. You guys getting involved. My grandfather always taught us to stay curious, get involved, ask for help. And I do want to give a social shout out to the people that support this show. So someone that's been supporting this show in the background, his name is Josh Palais. He is a podcaster. You can find him at the Bolt City podcast. You can find him JP25 Media. He's a content creator. Josh, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for supporting us and our journey. But I wanted to give you an opportunity, Andy. Who do you want to give a shout out to? Entrepreneur.com. Anybody on your team, somebody that's gone above and beyond that doesn't get, the limelight. I know you're the one that's out there, boots on the ground, doing all the media interviews, but we all have teams. I've got a team. You've got a team. Give someone a shout out.
Absolutely. And by the way, congrats on being on Entrepreneur and all the growth you're having. It's so exciting. I love watching it.
Appreciate it, man.
I would love to shout out my best friend. His name's Greg Kaplan. He's so behind the scenes. He doesn't want this recognition, but
I love it.
Really been, he's a very accomplished entrepreneur himself. He started something called Remote Year, and now he's got a very cool walking meeting app called Spot Meetings. But every single morning he gets up at like 6 a.m. I wake up to 3 missed calls from him, and it's how I start my day every day, talking about strategy for the business. And we've been through a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes it looks easy. The life of an entrepreneur, you see these people who are very successful from afar. but he's been, just a rock to me. And, it's just been so fun building and succeeding with him. He's really just so heavily involved in the business and doesn't like the recognition, but he's just the best. So just want to shout him out.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. They love it, Greg. There you go. You know the best friends. Yeah, I know. I've got my best man, and he behind the scenes, he's the ones that takes all the calls and all the stuff that you guys don't see, all the dark days when we're like, what am I doing? How is this going to work out? But somehow you just keep going. That's why you got to have those guys in your corner and those girls in your corner. Andy, thank you so much. If you guys want to reach out to me, it's at Sean P. Walchef on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. You can follow the show at Cali BBQ Media. Please support our sponsors. We can't do this without them. Toast. They've done an incredible job believing in this project. Davo, which is sales tax automation, and Atmosphere TV. Thank you guys so much. Please, bucket listers, follow what they're doing. This is the new way of content creation. No matter what city you're in, bucket listers are probably coming to you sometime soon. Chances are, but dude, Andy, thank you so much for your time. Please, when you make it to San Diego, come get some barbecue, Cali barbecue. We'll roll out the red carpet for you and your team, or anybody that's listening to this show. This is why we do what we do. This is digital hospitality. This is how we all connect all over the globe. Make it a bucket list. Thank you, Andy, for your time, man.
Love it. Love everything you're doing. I'm going to take you up on that. I'll be in San Diego soon. Thank you so much for having me. Really, really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. We will catch you next week. Thank you. And a special thank you to our title sponsor, Toast. Toast is the primary technology partner that we use at our restaurant, Cali Barbecue. It is also the primary technology partner that so many of the guests have shared with us on this show. People like Sam, the cooking guy, Stacy Poonkinney, Jeff Alexander. So many times the guests tell us that they're using Toast when we didn't even know that going into the interview. That is why we are so grateful that they sponsor this show. We want you to win. You that listen to this show, we want you to improve your digital hospitality. Toast is built for restaurants, and it's built for you. Toast is the restaurant-first platform that's built for your needs, whatever your size, concept, or ambitions. Improve your bottom line with a customizable platform that's easy to learn, use, and grow with. And it meets you where you are with all the right tools for your price point. If you have any questions about Toast, please DM me at Sean P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. I will get you the link to the right Toast contact in your market. It's so important that if you listen to this show, that you win. We want you to be on this show eventually. Let us know that you heard the show, you heard about Toast, you implemented Toast, you did a Toast unboxing in your restaurant. Talk to us about how you've impacted your village, your city, your community. Share your Toast story with us. DM me today to learn more, and be sure to check out Toast.